Earth, Wind & Fire has won 6 Grammys and sold over 90 million albums. Their success began with their 1975 album, That's the Way of the World. They were even inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2000. Keep watching to learn about the many Earth, Wind & Fire members who died too soon. Maurice White. Maurice White was born in Memphis on December 19, 1941. He was the grandson of a New Orleans piano player and showed musical talent early. He began working early and studied at the Chicago Conservancy and was hired by a session drummer for Chess Records. That let him play with a variety of famous artists, including Etta James, Ramsey Lewis, and Muddy Waters. He founded the Salty Peppers in Chicago in the 1960s. They were modestly successful, but he decided to relocate to Los Angeles. The only band member he brought along was his brother Verdine, and he renamed the band Earth, Wind & Fire after the elements in his astrological chart. Their early sound was a fusion of jazz, funk, gospel, and big band. Their first top 5 R&B single came in 1974 with Mighty Mighty. They got a crossover hit the next year with Shining Star. They also held flashy concerts with glitter costumes, fancy dancing, fog machines, bright lights, and even magic tricks. They performed at the Super Bowl and the White House. Maurice also created successful songs for other artists like Barbra Streisand and Cher. He co-wrote and co-produced The Emotions' #1 hit, Best of My Love. He also had a hit with a cover of Stand By Me from his self-titled solo album. He began showing symptoms of Parkinson's in 1980 and had to stop touring. He revealed his condition when Earth, Wind & Fire were inducted into the Hall of Fame. He told the Associated Press that year that the purpose of the band's music was to inspire as well as entertain, and that he was grateful for how many people they had reached. Maurice White died peacefully in his sleep at age 74 on February 4, 2016. His brother and co-founder Verdine asked fans to respect his privacy. Wade Flemmons. Wade Flemmons was born September 25, 1940. His father Samuel introduced him to gospel music, but he moved to Michigan with his mother when his parents divorced in 1955. He began recording music in 1958. When he was 17, he recorded Here I Stand in 1958 with his band The Newcomers. It reached number 80 on the Hot 100, and he signed with VJ Records in Chicago. He also appeared on American Bandstand and The Alan Freed Show. It took time before he had another hit. He did session work at Chicago recording studios and wrote commercial jingles. One of his partners was Maurice White. They played together in the band Salty Peppers before he became a part of Earth, Wind & Fire from 1971 to 72. Wade was a prolific songwriter and wrote over 200 songs. A few that he created while he was away from the group are still popular in the UK. They include The Other Place and Jeanette, both of which were recorded in 1968. Wade got married in 1980 to his wife Brenda, and they had a daughter and 3 sons. One of them, Brian, also became a musician. Wade Flemmons died of cancer at age 53 on October 13, 1993. He was buried as a veteran of the Vietnam War in the Fort Custer National Cemetery in Augusta, Michigan. Roland Bautista. Roland Bautista was born in Los Angeles on May 30, 1951. He discovered music and fell in love with the guitar from an early age. He played for the Velvet Illusions as a teen until they broke up in '67. Roland joined Earth, Wind & Fire in 1972. His first major project with them was the album Last Days and Time that year. He left when it was released and put out 2 solo albums, Bautista in 1977 and The Heat of the Wind in '78. He returned to Earth, Wind & Fire in 1981 after the death of Al McKay and worked on albums such as Raise, Powerlight, and Electric Universe. The band went on hiatus in 1983 and got back together 4 years later. Roland took that time to work with other groups such as the Crusaders and the Jacksons. He enjoyed mentoring up-and-coming musicians like Welton Gitra, William Duvall, and Brandon Williams. He also worked with disadvantaged children and played golf in his free time. Roland Bautista died of natural causes at age 60 on February 29, 2012. Many of his hits are still popular today. His work with the Velvet Illusions was released in a compilation in 2019. His net worth at the time of his death was estimated at around $2 million. Jessica Cleaves. Jessica Cleaves was born December 10, 1948. She was the female lead singer for the Friends of Distinction. Their vocal version of the 1968 hit Grazing in the Grass stayed at the top of the pop and soul charts for over 4 months. The Friends played around clubs in LA until NFL Hall of Famer Jim Brown decided they had potential and became their manager. He got them an audition and recording contract with RCA Records. The band continued to make hits, including I Really Hope You Do, but Jessica was getting bored. She left in 1972 to join Earth, Wind & Fire as a backup singer. She eventually left them as well, singing for funk master George Clinton and Parliament Funkadelic. After that, the public rarely saw her again. Jessica Cleaves died at age 65 on May 2, 2014. Little was revealed about her death, but a memorial website included posts from friends and co-workers such as George Clinton. Her godson, Armando Araujo, is even reportedly working on a film about her life called Jessica Cleaves, My Friends of Distinction. Andrew Woolfolk. Andrew Woolfolk was born October 11, 1950, in Texas, but raised in Colorado. He met Earth, Wind & Fire singer Philip Bailey, who asked him to join the band. He'd been studying music with saxophonist Joe Henderson and considering a career in banking, but accepted the offer. He first worked on the record Heat of the Sky in 1973, and it was the band's first to go platinum. That led to a string of successes, and Rolling Stone praised Andrew's fluent soprano sax on the 1975 album That's the Way of the World. It became their first #1 album on the Billboard 200 and went triple platinum. The success kept coming through the 70s, but dipped in the 80s. Andrew worked with other artists during their hiatus. He worked with Denise Williams and Valerie Carter. He also appeared on Philip Bailey's gospel albums, including The Wonders of His and Triumph, which won a Grammy for Best Male Gospel Performance. Andrew came back when Earth, Wind & Fire reunited until officially leaving in 1993. He worked with Phil Collins several times after that. He appeared on his 1996 album Dance into the Light and went on tour with him, and appeared on a live recording with him at the Montreux Jazz Festival. Andrew Woolfolk died at age 71 on April 24, 2022. Philip confirmed he'd been battling the effects of a stroke for years. Fred White. Fred White was born in Chicago in 1955. His entire family were musicians, including Verdine and Maurice White. He was a child prodigy on the drums and found success with acts like Donny Hathaway. He co-founded Earth, Wind & Fire in 1970 and was joined by his brothers within a few years. He appeared on all 4 of the band's consecutive top 10 records. His natural rhythm helped make songs such as September a #8 hit at release, with 1.2 million streams on Spotify today. Fred White died at age 67. No official cause of death was released. Verdine expressed his sadness over losing a brother who was not only talented but, quote, could always make a seemingly bad situation more lighthearted. Now it's time to hear from you. What's your favorite Earth, Wind & Fire song? Let us know in the comments section below.